Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and it is Banlist season once again, so we are going to be hopping back over here on Tier Maker, doing another Tier Maker prediction slash discussion list. Usually these work out to be more of a prediction list. I just sort of go off of what I think Konami naturally is going to do, and then as I go through, I just sort of talk about sort of my wish list and what I wish would go down and whatnot. So we have a big variance of cards going on here, sort of like we did last time. It was a big hit when I did this back in December, I believe it was. So if you guys enjoy this, if you guys are not subscribed, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Also, we're currently having a giveaway going on for Ghosts from the Past 2 Electric Boogaloo right now. So if you guys want to get in for that giveaway, all you guys have to do is comment on either today's video or any of the other videos that I've released in the last week since Ghosts from the Past. Up until Friday the 13th in the morning, I will be doing the drawing, as well as if you guys join over on the Patreon, there are other ways to get that as well. But we will talk about that a little bit later. So now it's time for the ban list discussion. So right out of the gate, I'm sort of struggling on which card to pull out of here right away. I think right now, hashtag Team Banaconda is pretty hardcore right now, so let's just talk about the easiest one right now. So Anaconda getting banned, it does seem like it's fairly logical. The only real big problem with this is the fact that Predaplants are getting new support fairly soon, so that is a bit of a struggle. The only problem, or the only reason why this isn't a problem is because this is not a Predaplant card. People have not been using this as a Predaplant card. Predaplants just aren't seeing play. The only thing is that maybe the new support will kind of work around with this and they would want to keep this around for that. In which case, I could see Fusion Destiny ending up getting banned or at least limited. But even limiting it just doesn't really do much when you have Anaconda sitting around. I think either way we might still see a limit to the Fusion Destiny. It's currently semi-limited right now, so I'm thinking the way that things might be going is that we'll see the Fusion Destiny sitting at the semi-limited while Anaconda gets banned, or we'll still at least see it getting limited. And whether this stays untouched or ends up getting banned is just sort of up to Konami from there. Just sort of some other things along with that. I think that DPE is going to end up remaining untouched. This probably wasn't even needed on the list here, but there's also been a lot of people talking about Celestial being a card that needs to get banned. I don't totally agree with that. I understand that there are not as many good options for Destiny heroes to send besides the Celestial. So like if you end up sending the Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer or get the Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, you got to send less good materials. But I would, the duels nowadays just don't get grindy enough. They are grindy enough to where that Celestial draw does matter, but I would still rather see something to where Anaconda is getting addressed rather than hitting cards inside of the engine. I think that we can live with Anaconda being banned or Fusion Destiny eventually getting banned, either this ban list or in the future, and then we just leave this card here for heroes. I mean, like there's still polymerization, so hero players can still hard make it. So I think that this is where I see things naturally progressing. I don't think that hitting Celestial does enough. I think that it does make sense to eventually hit to eventually just ban Fusion Destiny, but it's just hard to sort of place where all this is going to end up going. Next, I'm just going to pull up here. We have Lunalight Tiger. Currently is limited. It got moved on the last list. I feel like, a lot of people are saying that it might get semi-limited or unbanned. I feel like I could see them still keeping it over here, just sort of being a little bit wary. The thing is, though, is that I believe that we've already gotten the reprints of the Lunalights. So yeah, Lunalights are not going to be getting reprinted in the Legendary Duelist Season 3, so it's not like they need to release this for new support. I think I can see it just sitting there at limited for the time being because, if they unlimit this and or they unban it, whatever you want to call it, unlimited. This is supposed to be unlimited, my bad. If they leave it unlimited, then there's potential for big time combos coming out, but I could still see this coming unlimited or semi, but I think for the time being they might just leave it. Yeah, no, you know what, now that I'm saying it out loud, I just think that it could actually end up going there. So let's talk about Prank Kids, or actually before we talk about Prank Kids, let's talk about the adventure package. So I think that the way that this is naturally going to go is we're going to see a limit to the Rite of Aramasir. or sorry, to the Water Enchantress, and then Rite of Aramis here is going to remain untouched. There's a lot of reasons for my thought process here. There's a lot of people who are thinking that it might end up looking like this, where we have both of them semi-limited. I just don't see that happening. I think that the natural way that this works, you do have the Water Enchantress, which is an enabler to be able to spam into an extra monster so that you have extra link material or an extra monster for a rank 3 play. So it's commonly used in stuff like Phantom Knights or anything else that's going into 3s, like Virtual Worlds and all that stuff. So I think that them limiting this makes it a little bit less good. If they leave the Rite of Aramis here, then that means that you can use Rite of Aramis here, and then if you just so happen to have this in your hand, then you can use the Water Enchantress to get that extra special summon, and then eventually on your next turn you could end up banishing this from the graveyard, and then get another copy of Rite of Aramis here, so you get another token, and then things could kind of go off from there. So it's still, the engine still works. Along with that, you still just have a lot more ways to interact with Water Enchantress. You have Called by the Grave if it ends up getting sent to the graveyard. You have just a whole bunch of different ways to interact with it. You have just so many ways for different monster negates. You have DD Crow to be able to banish it as well. You have Ash Blossom, all those kind of things. There's not as many things to interact with spell cards. So I think that if they end up hitting the Water Enchantress, there's still definitely ways that you can dump the Water Enchantress to the graveyard. You have Foolish Burial. You have Beatrice, as well as you have the Burning Abyss Cherubini. So there's a lot of different ways that this could all work. Okay, sorry, I had to pause there. There was a fire siren going off. But interruptions aside, so I think that there's just a lot of different ways that this could go. I can see that semi-limiting happening to both of them, but I think that the more logical thing is just to go with that. The only way that I could see this happening a little bit is that for like monetary purposes, if they do want the Grand Creators to still be flying off the shelves, and they don't want you to be like, oh no, well what if I pull a Water Enchantress? I want to pull Rite of Aramis. You know, I could see that happening, but I think just to keep the ban list more clean, I think that sometimes Konami likes to just hit the big things, except for when it comes to like Crystal and Halka-Fibrax. You know, like they'll hit the big, like the one thing instead of hitting two things. So I think that that's where it goes. Now getting on into another situation where we have potential of two things going on. We have ourselves the Prank Kids, Meow Meow Mew, and then also the Dodle Dodle Doo. So the Dodle Doo is the one that they're sort of, people are sort of moving on to now. They're saying, well, maybe we don't need to ban the Meow Meow Mew because this is sort of a newer card. It came out like a year and a half ago almost. And then we have like the Dodle Doo, which like it's been around for a long time, and it does end up getting a lot of advantage. So the way that I can see is that we still keep the, this stays on the limited side of things, so it will remain untouched, and then we could end up seeing a limit or a ban to the Dodle Dodle Doo. The only problem that I have with this is that if you end up hitting the Anaconda, like the whole Fusion Destiny package, especially if you limit the Fusion Destiny here and you ban the Anaconda and you limit the Rite of Aramis or Water Enchantress, or again you do the thing where you do semi-limit the both of them, then you actually don't need to hit the Prank Kids really as hard. Prank Kids just don't do as much when they have to fight through those two hand traps and they can't get through them. Then like the deck ends up sort of dying off. So if you can end up sort of having those two hand traps, or even just one hand trap and they have a suboptimal hand, then Prank Kids don't do quite as much. So if we get rid of the Omni Negate where you have the Water Enchantress, I think that, you know, and you make the adventure token engine a little less viable, then I think that the Prank Kids don't need to get hit quite as badly. So I can see these still staying untouched. Going on into some of the semi-limited things, so we have seen the Danger package move quite a bit. So these two cards right now, Jackalope and Tsuchinoko, are currently limited right now on the ban list. A lot of people are saying that they might end up moving to semi-limited, or that they might move just one of them. I think that Tsuchinoko is the one that's the easiest for them to move, and then we could see Jackalope staying untouched. But for this one, I'm actually thinking that they might move both of these to the semi-limited, and that they might leave them here for a while. We do have some new, I believe, Dark World support coming here in the not-so-distant future. Just some other things going on where we might end up wanting some of these kind of discardy cards. So I can see Konami leaving them here. Other things that are going to be getting going to the unlimited is going to be Salamangreat Circle, as well as the Mirage Stalio. The Mirage Stalio is a card that just doesn't matter whether it's at 1, 2, or 3 in the extra deck. Right now, Salamander hasn't been doing too much. I can see people playing 2 copies of this, but overall, I think just playing the 1 copy and then playing all of the other Cybers packaging is just way better. So I think that people are going to be moving on, staying with just 1 copy of Mirage Stelio, and then going into 3 Circle is going to be really nice for the deck, helping it to see a little bit more play. There is supposed to be an errata going on with Night Assailant, so which is weird because I don't think that the errata was included in the Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1 reprint that just came out, so I don't know what Konami was doing not putting that errata on here. I could be wrong, it could be on there, but I don't think that it was. But we are supposed to be getting an errata for Night Assailant, so it just makes it so you literally can't you can't add itself back to the hand. You cannot add Night Assailant, so that is going to be a new errata that should be coming to this card. So I can see this coming, coming unlimited, not untouched. Another thing, everyone likes to talk about Harp Horror. I think that, I say this every ban list, but I think that I can see this being as the one where it goes to 1. We've had the Mech Knight Orcust Gearsu for about a year now, or maybe 2 years. Did it come out in? Yeah, it came out in Etco. It didn't come out in Lightning Overdrive. So yeah, it's been 2 years that we've had that card, I believe. Yeah, because it did get reprinted in the Megatins. So there's no reason really why we don't have this. I don't like Orcust. I think that it's a gross deck, but that's also just because I have PTSD from playing against it back in TOS format. So overall, I think that Harp Horror can come back to 1, and it's not going to really change too much. I think that it's going to make a lot of players actually really excited to come back and play with Orcust, so it would be a smart move for them. Maxi, there's just a whole lot of contention around this card. I just don't think that it's coming back. The only way that I can see this coming back is if Konami is slowly trying to merge our formats with the OCG and with Master Duel. The only problem is that the Master Duel format is just slightly different because they're behind like 2 sets or something from us. So they like just got Sword Souls and whatnot from over there. So overall, like there's not much reason why they would want to bring Max C back. It would be really toxic for the format and whatnot. But also, if they want to push the crossout designator and all that stuff, I could still see it happening. So let's see. We'll just sort of have to see what happens. Scythe, I'm sure that some of you guys are screaming that you just want me to get to Scythe and talk about it. I believe that this is the ban list where Scythe does end up coming out and goes banned. The only reason why I'm a little bit scared is because Konami did, for some reason, reprint Scythe in the Albaz Strike structure deck. I don't know why they did. They printed it as a common. It's not needed in there. It barely synergizes with the deck. You can do some popping and stuff with the Albaz deck, but there's just really no reason why they needed to put Scythe in here. So ever since they put that in here, I've been sort of like on the edge, like going like, are they banning it or not? Like, why would they reprint this card if they're just going to ban it in 2 or 3 weeks? Not that a common reprint is that really big of a deal, but it just still bothers me. Christian Halka-Fibrax, I know that you guys want this card to be sitting here, but I do think that Halk is still going to end up going untouched. So let's just talk about the rest of this. Or I guess, and then as we're going there, we can talk about how Dagda will also end up going untouched because with Dagda, there's just no reason to hit Dagda and then not hit Scythe. People are going to find ways to get the Scythe out. You're going to be able to add it to hand with Ben 10 in Drytrons. You're going to be able to use Artifact Sanctum or just hard draw it. I have been doing this as a tech in my Live Twin deck because I do play Crossout Designator in my Live Twin Evil Twin deck, and so in that deck, I play Scythe as 1 copy. I don't have enough monsters usually to go fully extend into Dagda and then do a Scythe lock. So I play the 1 copy of Scythe. If I draw it and I can pop it with my Leela, it's awesome. If I don't end up drawing it, then I can always just use it as a crossout designator target because I am playing 3 copies in the main deck. So if my opponent is trying to Scythe lock me, then I can call Scythe, banish my own Scythe from my main deck, thin the deck a little bit, and then I'm not going to get Scythe locked because my deck cannot handle getting Scythe locked. So that's my sort of thought process, is just ban the Scythe, leave Dagda alone. Dagda's not doing anything if you get rid of the Scythe, and just ban it for good. So now getting on into Halk, I believe that the way that we're going to see this shake out is that we still might see Hulk and Auroradon sitting here, and then we're going to be seeing Despot 001 getting banned. Now, some people kind of want this flip-flopped. They want the Auroradon gone, and they want the Despot 001 to stay. I do see the arguments for this. The only reason why I can see this not going this way is the reason is that, you know, Auroradon overall does actually have a pretty stiff activation requirement, and then you do have like the Despot 001 stuff, which synergizes really well with Halqifibrax. If you end up just banning this, then this just means that we have one more tuner gone, and then once there is a new tuner that ends up really breaking the Halqifibrax, then we're going to end up seeing Hulk get banned. We're going to see Despot 001 along with most of the other tuners probably coming back. And then Auroradon can stay, and Auroradon will end up not really even being a big problem. So I think that the way that we're going to see this shake out is that in the future, Hulk is going to find his way to the ban list, just like Anaconda and all of his other brothers from Dual Overload. But the way that I'm seeing this going right now is this way. Just ban another tuner, and then someday in the future, probably a couple sets from now, maybe a year or two from now, we're going to end up seeing a really broken tuner card that's going to be like Plague Spreader Zombie on, you know, like on steroids. That is going to be something that can just really help spam itself out of the graveyard, and then they're finally going to be like, okay, let's ban Halqifibrax, and let's pull all of these other old tuners back out from the banished zone. So I think that we're going to end up seeing this happening. Then we have a Hero Lives, which is currently semi-limited right now. It's going to be going to unlimited. There's no reason not to, especially if you hit the Anaconda and even especially the Fusion Destiny engine. If you end up hitting these, Heroes takes a little bit of a hit. You give them a Hero Lives again, and they're still just right back in the races, being just a fun like Rogue or Tier 2 sort of deck right now. Thunder Dragon Colossus, while we're sort of around these banned cards or cards that could be banned, are we going to leave it untouched? Is it going to end up going to limited? I think that we're just going to still see this staying untouched. I see that Orcus Harport just has more reason to come back than the Thunder Dragon Colossus. I would really like it. I have tweaked around a lot with the Thunder Dragons, but for now I just don't see it happening. Super Poly, some people are calling for this to get banned or limited because of the Albaz deck, because of Despias. So overall, I think that this is going to end up staying untouched for now. We're going to end up seeing Super Poly maybe ending up getting limited or semi-limited in the near future. People say like going back to like Shadal format, where Shadal's was really taking over any format where you have a fusion deck that is really overpowered, and then Super Poly needs to get taken care of. I just don't think that it's going to happen right now. We have Predaplants coming out soon. We've got the Albaz deck that just came out. So right now they're going to sort of leave it. They're going to let us sort of tinker around with Super Poly for now, and then they're going to get rid of it in the future when it does become a problem. Let's get on here now into Harpy's Featherstorm. This is a card that should be banned. Man, it really makes me mad because I'm a Harpy player, and I just really wish, you know, that this didn't have to get hit, but this is a card that's really stupid. Already Floowandereeze is playing. They're playing Ryza, they're playing Dimension Shifter, and they're playing Harpy's Featherstorm, so they're playing 3 super broken cards. One of those 3 needs to get hit, I would say. Ryza, not so likely, especially because it just got reprinted. And then you've got D-Shifter, which is just sort of like a sacky card. If you end up drawing it on turn 2, it does nothing because you might have stuff in your graveyard already. And there's just other ways to out it. You've got maybe Crossout Designator, especially if you're in a mirror match, and then you do have stuff like Called by the Grave and all that sort of stuff. So there are just ways to work around Dimension Shifter. Harpy's Featherstorm is a lot more difficult, and unless they're going to be giving us 3 copies of Red Reboot, I think that this is a card that's very ban worthy. Also coming unlimited is going to be Scapegoat. This is just a card that just probably doesn't really need to be banned. It's a card that you're usually going to be using on your opponent's first turn. So overall, Scapegoat just sort of, you know, it's kind of just like a trap card in a way almost, and then it can sometimes save your life points. Maybe they want us to do a little bit more battle interaction and stuff like old school Yu-Gi-Oh! And then obviously the link spamming that this card can enable. I was surprised when they brought it to limited, I believe, on the last list. So now I'm seeing that it just probably goes unlimited because nobody has been, or no, it went to semi-limited because it's always been limited. Now we're going to end up seeing it going unlimited just because, I mean, this is people just aren't using Scapegoat. There's just other ways to spam stuff. Then, as you guys can tell, I left all of the Pendulum stuff for last. So we had the Astrograph Sorcerer come to limited on the previous list. I think that it's probably not going to end up going semi-limited. I think that we might end up just seeing this shoot right up to 3 as well. It could stay there, and then people are sort of commenting on Plushfire and or Monkey Board coming back, so a lot of people are sort of speculating that this could end up happening and whatnot. I'm not really sure. I don't really know enough about Pendulums to what they could end up potentially doing, but I think it would be interesting. I can see Monkey Board coming back and then Plushfire staying there. Astrograph coming to 3, Monkey Board at 1, and then you have the Plushfire sitting there just for maybe another ban list while they just sort of keep releasing these Pendulum cards off on the ban list nice and slowly. Because we do have the new Beyond the Pendulum monster that just came out. Also notice on here that there is no Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. I think that a lot of people have given up on Electromite. I think that them releasing the Beyond the Pendulum Link monster is sort of their new way of going, okay, we messed up with Electromite. He was too powerful. Here's a new card. Let's play with him. Don't worry about, or with her, don't worry about Electromite anymore. This is our new, MVP for the Pendulum deck. So right now, this is sort of where I see the format ending up shaking up. I think that if we ended up getting this format, it would end up being pretty decent. Obviously, like Destroyer, Phoenix, Enforcer and stuff is always really powerful. We still have like the Rite of Aramasir adventure package. It's just not going to be going away overnight because it is still very fresh. Halqifibrax has sort of lasted through so many ban lists, and Auroradon is just sort of another one that from the same set, Dual Overload, that just doesn't, I just don't feel like it's getting hit quite yet. And I do feel pretty strongly about a lot of these other moves on the ban list. Overall, again, like I said, I don't know enough about Pendulums to know where these are going to end up, but I could end up seeing Monkey Board coming back because it is a pretty fan favorite card for the Pendulum deck. And then also the Astrograph Sorcerer just coming unlimited just seems natural. Probably doesn't just do enough going to 2, so you might as well just bring it to 3. So anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. As I mentioned before, there are extra ways that you guys can get entered in for that giveaway for Ghosts from the Past. So if you guys do want extra chances, you guys can join over on the Patreon. One lucky winner is going to be getting a box of Ghosts from the Past over on the Patreon, and then we will be giving away an extra box for every 5 patrons that we have over there at the end of the month. So if you guys are not totally sure yet if you want to join, if you guys want to wait a week or something and try to figure it out if you want to join, if your $2, $5, $10 is that worth it to you, you guys can always figure it out. The Patreon is still very, very cheap, very budget for you guys to get your hands on some extra bonus videos, some of my favorite videos that I've ever made. But you guys can go ahead and join over there on the Patreon. Get your name in for that giveaway. We'll be doing the drawings for all the Patreon stuff at the end of the month. And then this Friday the 13th in May is going to be when we draw for the YouTube channel. So again, just leave a comment down on this video or any other videos that I've made in the last week or at the end of this week, and you will be in for that drawing for the YouTube giveaway for the box of Ghosts from the Past as well. But again, if you want better chances, go over to the Patreon and you will be immediately entered in for basically a 1 in 5 chance of getting your hands on that box of Ghosts from the Past. But again, let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about this ban list. Also, I mentioned it in my other video that if anyone can comment down in the comment section below what is going to be the exact ban list, what cards you think are going to get hit, what spots are going to be limited, unlimited, all that stuff. Let me know down in the comments. If you guys get it exactly right, I will also send you guys a box of Ghosts from the Past, just as a fun little giveaway option. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think. If you guys call the ban list correctly, you guys win a free box of Ghosts from the Past. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Thank you guys so much for 2,000 subscribers, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.